What's that one? I can't get a reception like these Moabites from Hong Kong. So you're giving them half of England with no problem. You know what I mean? All right. Which mic am I on? Could I pull it close or the cord is short?
You can say it's long enough.
It's long enough? We good right here? What about this thing? It's not blocking, right?
Not I said it's how it's like unlike the P, you know, like sounds that
like reverb or some kind of thing like that.
Kind of one concept.
Okay. All right. UK, y'all better get ready, you know. Command Gen.YAHANNA say he's gonna descend on this thing next year, just after Passover. This is gonna be, you know, it's gonna be. Listen, clap that up. Get out there. He say, yeah, next year, boy, it's going to be. I'm trying to tell you, get in. If Christ ain't back yet, the UK gonna be turned upside down. They think they have a problem. No, boy, good night. Yeah, you're gonna let a card loose in this place. Tazari, forget about it. My quad gonna come through and just take a whole section for himself. He's gonna be the duke of everything. You know what I mean? So you got any questions in the room? Any questions at all, Robin?
I can't say. I had a question, sort of questions on the topic of birthdays, because my brother that's in the world is celebrating his birthday today, and I want just to break down on birthdays. I know there's a few examples in the Bible, like in Job, where it talks about his sons and I believe his daughters were celebrating each his day, and then there's scripture on Pharaoh's birthday where when the heathens, there's two instances of the heathens celebrating birthdays, and each one they put someone to death. So
some water or something. You can turn it back up. That's it. So I mean, cut you up. You get a little water.
No, so yeah, just a sort of a breakdown on birthdays and sort of how UPK break it down. I have, for example, one scripture in Job chapter 1 verse 4-5.
Okay, I got it. And you say this is for your brother in the world. He's celebrating a birthday.
Can't, sir.
I got you. Have you talked to him about it before?
Can't. Yeah, and he knows obviously. There's something that he shouldn't be doing, but does
he say why he needs this birthday?
He just says that he doesn't see it as anything big. Like he just he's like he doesn't see it as anything big. And
you know what that will? I ain't gonna say back to. Let me get a paper towel too, please. Cook that'll work too. Let me get a paper towel, all right? A couple. Yeah, the big square ones. Yeah, let me get two of those. Two separate ones. Sissy, you might hold on to this. So what? Go ahead, Robin. Salaki, what he saying?
Yeah, can't. So it's just the kind of rationale where it's saying, he doesn't see it as anything big, or he doesn't see like what the issue is with it.
Okay. So he doesn't. Okay. So then, what does he say to you when you tell him birthdays is not our culture?
He just doesn't really doesn't really respond. He's kind of just. I mean, like he doesn't celebrate Christmas, but he just says birthdays. Essentially, along the line, birthdays is something that he doesn't want to give up. Basically,
I understand. Okay. So, what does he think about the truth?
He says that he has respect for the I.S.U.P.K. He has respect for the truth, but
of course he does. He cannot have respect for the UPK.
Right, but he says that he has like more questions than answers, and I keep telling him to like, well, you should tune into the scripture breakdown class, ask as many questions as you like. That's what that's for.
I want to go to these. It's a lot. It's a lot. Do they need? Yeah, may I throw some water in these? It's a lot. It says you mind. Let me see what you want. They both the same? Yeah, please. I try a little water. Let me feel like one of these dukes drinking out of some royal goblet up in here.
Yeah, he just says he's saying that he has too many questions. So I keep telling him to come to the scripture breakdown class. He'll sometimes ask me some questions.
That part he'll realize on his own. What I'm asking is like, how does he generally feel about what the Bible says? Not okay. How he feels about the UPK could be something. It could be something carnal, meaning And what do I mean by that? Like how that's similarly to why people respect the Nation of Islam.
Correct,
People
right.
respect the Nation of Islam for only one reason only. It's a carnal thing. They see numbers, or at least back in the day, the Nation of Islam now is very weak. It's fallen a whole lot. They're trying to get back into some sort of stride. But for the most part, back then, it was a numbers thing. It was a, strength in numbers,
Right.
manpower. It wasn't anything with a moral responsibility. You understand?
Correct.
Like people didn't join the Nation of Islam because it helped them morally. They joined it because you go to prison and you get your ass kicked if you're not part of some squad. You get the point?
Common concept.
Same extent on the street. So you would have people who would be like, I don't agree with what you're all saying, but you're all militant. And they so what? I appreciate it. Second?
It's loose.
This one here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. They all come loose. Just gotta square that down. I'm gonna work with this here. I'm gonna figure it out. Salakia. Let me transfer this into here. You royal goblet. And King Charles my ass. Salakia. Yeah, go ahead, Robin.
So I think like his opinion of the truth, I think he knows it's the truth, but he has sort of a rebellious spirit. Like he serves his flesh. Like if there's something that he wants to do, then he's gonna go ahead and do it. Like he'll go ahead and get his shape up, his tattoos, his birthday. He's just rebellious, basically.
That's okay. That's really what you want to get down to. So the battle with him is not birthdays, or else he would have been in class today telling everybody, hey, my birthday is today. You understand what I'm saying? The battle with him is not a birthday battle. The battle with him is his flesh. You understand? I'm sure there are many other things. You don't have to name them, but I'm sure there are many other things that would come down to it where he's answering the calls of his flesh because he wants to do it. What's going on? Right? Because he wants to do it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Common concept.
Of course. Okay. So just in general, somebody who celebrates birthdays is somebody who is choosing the way of the oppressor, right? I'm good on this camera here, right? Right. Somebody who is choosing the way of the oppressor. You don't have a second computer or a tablet. Okay, I'll get one. All right, get a second one or a tablet right here, so you don't have to. I don't have to look this way. I could look here like I was looking at the class. I could look here and see him and whoever else might be online. Get one, put like a monitor. You know what I mean? Somewhere that's this way, right? So for somebody who celebrates birthdays in general, right, and then I'm gonna come to your specific situation. You definitely have envy not the oppressor. Is that Proverbs 3?
Come on, and then you want me to get it?
I'm gonna let Robin read it. Robin, you could grab it.
Come on, concept.
All right. Pressure, find for me when Herod celebrated his birthday. All right, go ahead. Robin, you have it?
Last just look finding it.
Proverbs 3 and 31. Right, you want to start there. Now, this would not be for him, but if somebody comes and asks you why we do not celebrate birthdays, this would be an answer. All right.
Come on, concept. I have it. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Right. Birthdays historically are a way of the heathen, specifically the Greeks. Right. The Greeks have popularized most of the carnal things or the sin that is against the Bible. They popularized it. Right. It existed before, but they're the ones who damn near market it to the world, make it look attractive and this and that. Right. So it says, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. Birthdays are a way of the oppressor. Right. Everybody can understand that our oppressor celebrates birthdays. So-called white man, the African, the Chinese, this, that, the other. They worship these things that are very carnal. Right. Birthdays come from, if before Greece, I believe it was the Egyptians. Right, where you would get to be king for the day, or pharaoh style for the day. Right, pharaoh style for the day. That's where it comes from. This is your day, my day to be celebrated as king or queen, and everybody gives gifts to you. Everybody, and the whole day is about you. It's self-worship, right? It's absolute self-worship and nothing else. Is you making yourself a god or a king for the day. Go ahead, sis.
So is it a sin or just not a custom? You know what I mean? Like
In the spirit, it's a sin. Because, and I'm going to explain why. A sin has a punishment. You're not going to read in the Bible where this person was stoned to death for celebrating their day, because that was never part of our culture. We never had that as part of our culture. I'm going to give you another thing that's not part of our culture: prisons. You'll never find a record of Israel having prisons in the Bible like how our oppressor does. You get the point? We have punishments. The closest thing to a prison is where you might be indebted to somebody you stole from or damaged their property, and you have to live under the judge's house. The judge might live in a 2-story, and there's records of this brother, he's in ward under his house like a servant. That's the closest thing to prison. He had to work every day, but he comes and checks in with the judge, right? Early adoptions of that comes from where you see a sheriff, where you have a sheriff in a old western town, and he put a man in a cell, but they let him out, but he had to come back to the sheriff. It's similar to that. So there's certain things that's not our culture, so there would be no law for it. Like, is there a law for eating feces?
No.
Why?
Because naturally you would.
Because we don't have to stop somebody from eating feces. You get the point? We don't have to tell a child, hey, don't do that shit. You get the point? But
In case.
there's certain cultures that's a part of it. You get the point? There's certain cultures where this is a part of how they operate. So now as they go to get more modern, they're going to have to put laws in place to not drink piss and eat feces. You get the point? But that was never part of our culture. So you wouldn't find a law in the spirit of it. In the spirit of it, you're sinning against the law.
And sorry.
Go ahead.
Is it also the one with dreadlocks? It's not the same thing. There's no law on it because that's not what we do.
The dreadlocks is another thing. That was not our part of our culture. But of course, choosing parts of another nation's culture would always be frowned upon. Give me you found the one with Herod?
Okay.
Where just write it, right? You have a pen?
Last.
Let me get a pen real quick.
It's like, so is it the one in Mark chapter 6? I did
Matthew 14:6.
I just don't want to forget that I have to pull it. You get the point? I just want to make sure I don't forget that I have to pull it. You could put a whiteboard here too, Parasha, and you could write scriptures on there. What is happening as people come off the slavery, they come to class late, they're going to miss everything you cover. So you could have the Shema, whoever man in the computer, every time a scripture call, he just writes it out there. Just writes it there. So somebody who come in late, they could just take the notes down. You get the point? Anybody have a pen? All right. So I lost my train of thought.
It's like you were talking about like dreadlocks and the customs of the
dreadlocks, right? So you have, those are not our culture, but it's frowned upon, right? What I need is, give me the Babylonianish garment, right? Say again? No, well, that's really, you could put one up here. You could get a separate one to put right there, or somewhere where people could see easily, could write things on. You get the point? Certain breakdowns you need a board for, like the Genesis breakdown, you need a board for that to teach it effectively. You need a board to show the Big Bang and the world and the firmament and stuff like that. Give me the Babylonian garment or Babylonianish. Hold on, Babylonian.
Babylonish, Joshua 7 and verse 21.
It's somewhere in Joshua. Hold on.
Yeah, it's right. So it's Joshua 7 and 21.
All right, Joshua 7 and 21.
Come on, sir. Book of Joshua chapter.
Go ahead.
Book of Joshua chapter 7 verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment.
Mm-hmm. What kind of garment it was?
a goodly Babylonish garment.
Goodly Babylonian garment. Hold on, skip up to verse 9.
Come on.
You said 7 and 12, right?
7 and 21.
21, Salaki, not 9. Hold on. No, yeah, 9. Start at 9.
Come on. Verse 9. For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and shall environ us around, and cut off our name from the earth.
You at verse 9?
Maybe
Maybe I'm
7,
wrong.
verse 9.
Hold on. Joshua 7
And verse 9.
and verse 9. Okay, go ahead and read it again.
For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it.
Salaki, I'm in wrong. I'm in Judges. Salaki, brother.
Come on.
I go ahead and read. Keep reading.
And shall environ us around, and cut off our name from the earth. And what wilt thou do unto thy great name? And the Lord said unto Joshua, Get thee up. Wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face? Israel has sinned.
Keep going.
Come on. Israel have sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff.
All right. So, sis, who asked the question? Sis, you asked a question about the dreadlocks, right? That's a custom. The birthdays is a custom. So, what was the sin here Israel did? Right? Read it one more time, man. Read that last verse one more time.
Come on. Israel hath sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff.
So what was Israel's sin?
They took someone else's custom and brought it into theirs.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's what you would never find a law against dreadlocks. You'd never find a law against birthdays. You wouldn't see somebody being stoned for it. However, you would see us trying to take on the culture of another nation. And the Lord hates it. Just like anybody in here who have children. Your children get old enough one day and they go to school. They're beyond the age like this little girl here. They get to the age where they could absorb shit. And they come back home and they say some shit you've never heard in your life. What's your response? Where you get that from? No, they never get beat for that before. Why? Because they never said it before. Do I have to make a law for it? Do I have to make a law like this is your bedtime, brush your teeth? No, I don't have to, because that shit gonna stop today. That shit ain't gonna continue. That's how it is. It's the Lord is a father, and there's certain laws in the house. This is what we do in here. There's certain laws, sisters on this side, brothers on this side. Raise your hand to talk, knock on the door, pat, search, pat down. But then there might be something that might happen that's not covered in that written law, but that's not our culture. So what? That day it gets out, and it's going to be in the record that that person had to leave with this thing, because that's not One West. That's not UPK. It's the same thing. It's the same spirit. That's why I say in the spirit of it, you're sinning against the law. But you're not going to find a law on it. You're not going to find a written something on it. And that's important to know, because you're going to have some idiots who are going to say, well, show me where it's written. Show me where it's written. And fools like that need to die. I'm not saying kill them. I'm saying fools like that only learn a lesson when they're laid up in a hospital bed with drips running into their arm, dried up, and they're praying to the Lord for mercy. That's when you learn the lesson. But now when you're saying something in the spirit of it, they don't receive it because they need it written. Some things you don't need written. Some things you could understand, man, listen, I could act the fool like this out here, but when I go to my father's house, I better straighten the hell up. I can't say that in here. I can't do that in here because it's going to be a problem. Then there's somebody who's going to come in the house and say and do everything they heard outside, And then what has to happen? The father has to drop the hammer on them. And that's just it. So you have to know the difference with it. All right. So keep reading, Rob, on where we are, 12.
Come on, sir. Therefore, the children. Oh, it's like
Go ahead.
Therefore, the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their back before their enemies because they were accursed.
Right. So these things essentially, what does it mean? Israel couldn't stand before their enemies. They had to turn their back before their enemies.
It means like they couldn't fight and win. They had to turn their back.
They could not. They had to concede. They had to retreat in the spirit of it. You had to step back from it because you just think you come in the house and you're talking some old crazy shit, and your father look at you funny. Are you gonna be walking around, come and sitting in the living room, playing game as normal? No, you go up in the corner of that room and you don't come down until it's time to eat. You're trying to stay out of the sight of what?
The father.
Out of a punishment.
How the punishment coming?
If he sees it.
But why, if he see you, the punishment gonna come?
Because he's gonna remember what you did or something.
Yeah, you staying out of the sight of judgment now.
Cool.
And that's what happened here because they took on the custom of another people.
Well, yeah, that's what you deep. I didn't see it as that because the in the Bible it says you can't wear Babylonian garment, but it was similar to it.
Is the spirit of it? You want to look at the spirit of it, like okay. Pull up today. There's an article I saw today where this CNN reporter named something Amanpour, Amanpour, right? I believe she interviewed some Muslim leader, and he walked out of the interview because she wouldn't cover her head. Now she's also an Arab, but she's one of those liberated Arabs, freedom and democracy. He's not. I forget which country it was. You found it? Amanpour, something Amanpour. If you find it, just let me know.
I believe it was Christian
like
Amanpour.
Yeah, something like that's the name.
I found it on is that ABC News?
Go ahead, read it, Rob, on if you have it.
Cool. So like it's making me do all the cookies and
no sweat. Please, go ahead.
It goes, Iran leader shuns Christian Amanpour interview over refusal to wear headscarf.
Go ahead.
President Ibrahim Raisi had been scheduled to talk in New York to veteran CNN correspondent. He was widely praised for her stance.
Right now, she's a veteran CNN correspondent. Now, these oppressors, they do political schemes and tricks to soften people's hearts. So they'll take some woman from some heathen nation that's supposed to be so oppressed, and they'll liberate her and celebrate her. So now this is an example of what happens if you come over to our side. So she's a veteran CNN journalist. She done covered a whole lot of people doing stuff. And she's going to interview this foreign leader. Now he is saying she had to cover her head. He ain't going to talk to her unless she humbles herself. She, of course, is, I don't give a damn what you saying. I'm an American. I'm not going to cover my head. He walked the hell out. He's not taking on the culture of another nation. She is. You get the point? She is. If America is so free and liberal, why she can't wear her kufi, her burqa, and become a well-renowned journalist? Because that burqa is another culture. And that burqa sends a message to other women looking that they need to humble themselves. America is not about that. America is the land of the free. Free to do what? Sis? Simple. Give me a simple answer. Free to do what? Rudayala. Simpler than that. Give me simple. Sin. That's your freedom in America. You are free to sin. That's it. That's your freedom. How does that start? By taking on the culture of another nation. You start taking on the culture of another nation, you're going to sin against your God. All right, let's get back to Joshua. Where we at?
Come on, in
Okay,
verse
so
12.
now, skip me down to okay, so now that the Lord brought a plague on Israel for this, and people were dying. A lot of people were dying. right? So Joshua realized they couldn't win any wars. That's why I said they had to turn their back on their enemies. They couldn't succeed because of what they were doing, right? Because of somebody in there, not them, somebody in the nation was not keeping the spirit of it. Somebody in the nation was secretly adopting the culture of the Babylonians. Secretly, you'll see it when they describe the garment. Secretly, just like they're in the nation, but it's like, oh boy, they do it better. They dress better. They look better. They do this better. And that was hurting Israel, right? So now, skip me to 16.
Come on. Verse 16. So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by the tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. And he brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of the Zarhites, and he brought the family of the Zarhites man by man, and Zabdi was taken. And he brought his household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah.
This is a huge undertaking. This is a very huge undertaking to go through an investigation, tribe by tribe, house by house, family by family, man by man. This is how serious it was for us at one time to obey the Lord and keep his culture. Now we have fallen so far from the standard we were that some old, decrepit old man is the king of the world. Some old woman is the queen of the world. When they're beneath us, they're so far beneath us. We don't fall so far from our standard. So Joshua started to investigate what's going on. Keep going.
And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me.
Yeah, Joshua went to him and said, listen, man, pray to the Lord now for mercy and confess to me what the hell you're doing, because we losing on that battlefield. We can't win on that battlefield. Something's wrong. These heathens, them African eating mosquitoes. You saw that video? They make a mosquito goddamn burger. I used to hear people saying you fly eating Africans, and I thought that was a little bit extreme. I see it was not. They eating mosquitoes. They're catching it with a damn pan. And I thought talking about it's saying like 25,000 mosquitoes to make this patty. It's a full patty, and they're making burgers and they're eating that thing. I'm not lying. Perhaps you could find the video somewhere on the internet and play it whenever you find it.
And if I may say, they said that it tastes like fish.
They say it tastes like fish because every year around this it's called Lake Victoria, somewhere in the middle of Africa, some lake. Every year these mosquitoes, millions of them, come and swarm over the lake and block out down there. It look like dust, but it's mosquitoes. And the villages around so goddamn poor, and again, there are no moral code. Rather than they pray to the bull and let the bull piss on them, rather than kill the goddamn bull and eat the bull, they get pots. Pull it up, come on. Make it big on the screen. Just a while, let's skip the
Just click on the highlighted area.
Screen chaser.
Yeah. Hell yeah, of course. I just pause it right there. Yeah, want to miss all that good fly catching he do. Yeah, excellent fly catcher.
Right.
Listen, there's a job for him in the kingdom,
Correct.
We'll put him right outside the gate, and I want you to eat every mosquito you see, young boy. Let's burn a boy there in the future. Shy on my ass. Good. Right? And they catching these mosquitoes. Come on. That's it. You can't wait. You want to eat it raw.
Right.
Put your palms together now.
No, that's a chicken. Hold on, pause it. Go back. The there. You can get eggs from it. You can eat the
Right.
chicken. You can rear the goddamn chicken. But these mosquitoes seem so great. Once again, but you want to take on the culture of them. Now, these is the dreadlocks people. These is your birthday people. You can follow them if you want to. Go ahead. You know what I mean? There's a whole other video where they explain that is because of the you can drop all that now. Where they explain is because of this a certain time of the year with the lake, something with the fishes and the mosquitoes just come and cover the lake, and they go around and they eat it. They eat a whole ton of it. We can't take on these cultures, these heathens. Only today, because of social media and the internet and news, the cultures of the heathens that was normally nasty like that thing is changed over to appear clean. Even dreadlocks. Dreadlocks is something that Benjamites made clean. Originally, dreadlocks was a nasty thing because them Hamites used to do it and them East Indians used to do it. And the dirtier, the better. Benjamites made dreadlocks fashionable because we clean. We are people who wash every time. Wash something, bathe, clean, sweep, wipe, wash. So you taking on this culture, you not dipping your hair in the mud like the Africans do. You get the point? You not, letting other things, play in your hair like the East Indians do. You washing that thing and getting the beeswax and doing the roll. And you have whole locticians now, a whole industry made on making it look clean. But making it look clean is to attract people to another culture. You get the point, sis? So all those are things that are not our culture. But in their rare, true form, they're just as disgusting as that mosquito-eating African. In their real, rare, original form, then it's not an attractive thing. You get the point? Let's get back to Joshua.
Khan, we're in verse 20. And the Khan answered Joshua and said, "Indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like,
Go ahead.
And
Yeah.
200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight."
Whoa, boy, he described a whole bounty there. They call that booty. That's what they call that. He went in. They're supposed to go into this particular place and sack the place, and they wasn't supposed to take anything from it. Similar to like what Saul did with Amalek, where Saul kept the he let that Amalekite king live, and he kept the damn sheep for himself because he thought they was good. And the Lord didn't want that. He don't want nothing from their culture. You get the point? Read that part again, Rabban.
When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment,
Mm-hmm.
and 200 shekels of silver.
What kind of garment he saw?
A goodly Babylonish garment.
What does that tell you about the brother who took the garment? Anybody?
It's like if I could.
Go ahead, Rabban.
Khan is that he envied the other nations' cultures. He saw that garment and the other culture is better than his own.
He was simple. He saw that garment and he was impressed by it.
Right.
He was absolutely impressed by it. And this okay, you should be this extreme with yourself. You have Christians out here, Muslims, every other religion, the Buddhists, the fake Israelites, and you're going to see them wearing something. And if something in you has some sort of admiration for what they're wearing or what they're doing, you should check yourself.
Correct.
You should realize that your blood ain't 100% One West. There's some of you that's Christian. There's some of you that want to be Christian. There's some part of you that still beats Christian when you should look at that shit like, what the hell is he wearing? Look at this dumb shit he wearing. You get the point? Like that's how we have to be extreme by decision, not extreme by how the hell you feel. How you feel has nothing to do with nothing. Because today you could like it and tomorrow you could hate it. But you could decide on both days that this thing is holy and that is not, regardless of how you feel. You get the point? So that's the same thing here. This brother said, man, I went in there and I saw this goodly garment. Now, the man who fashioned that garment is not an Israelite. This was a Babylonian. This was an oppressor. This was a heathen. Fashioning it with heathen spirit on it. Fashioning it thinking about the heathen God. And now you come in there admiring that shit? Something's wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. And he knew it was wrong. How you know it was? How do you know he knew it was wrong? Give me somebody else besides y'all two. Because he hid it. If it was such a good garment, why he didn't flex it? Why he didn't put it on and come out and be like, yeah, yo, how y'all say you look good up and clean. You see how clean I look in this garment? Why he didn't say that? He knew the thing was wrong.
Right.
But he really wasn't Israel. In his spirit didn't belong to the Lord. His spirit belonged to the world and whatever was the prevailing culture of the world. And he saw that garment of the world and was like, cold, I want it. And you should reject that shit. The scripture calls them thing gay apparel. Gay apparel. Keep reading now. Read it again from the top.
21. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight.
Once again, he carnal as hell. Lord trying to give you rulership. You look into our mass gold and silver. Nigga, we ain't got to steal gold and silver. They're bringing that shit to us in the kingdom. They're bringing that shit. If I could get to it tonight, I was doing some research on why the line needs so much of these damn Moabites in the country due to that treaty England had with Hong Kong and China. They said these Moabites coming over here with an average of $600,000 to $800,000 cash each. Now, you know why they deport our grandmothers and grandfathers and aunties and stuff. It's to make room for them bastards because we ain't got nothing to give you but labor. But they already used our labor. And England just did what 2 years ago? What was so important to the UK about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that was major?
The Afghans.
Nope. Brexit. How did Brexit affect England? Badly. You couldn't even get people to drive the goddamn trucks. They lose money. But these damn chinks coming over here with money. Bring them in. Bring them all in. You get the point? Now, you could sit in rulership where you don't have to go steal some Babylonian garment and steal no goddamn money. You could just obey the Lord and have these heathens just bring money to you. Just bring shit to you. Wake you up in the morning. What do you want, Moab? So like, hey, gold? Gold? You want gold? You could have that if you obey the Lord. Keep going.
Khan. Then I coveted them.
Then I what?
Them. Then I coveted them.
Then I what?
Then I coveted them.
He coveted not just the garment. He coveted feeling like a Babylonian. You ever see on TV when a man put on a suit? He put on that suit and they damn near sexualize the suit. He put on the shirt and he slide his hands into the damn jacket. And then they cut it on purpose because they already show you him with the jacket on. Then he walk out of the room and he flick the jacket over his shoulders. And he get that tie and he zip that thing up and he look at himself in the mirror with pride. Right. That's that. Like you feel like a Babylonian, you feel like a Briton, you feel like an American, that clean ass face and that narrow neck shirt and the tie. You really hate who you are. That's what happened with Mr. Bean. You remember Mr. Bean, right? Mr. Bean was supposed to be what? That sellout assimilated version of a Paki that came to England. And from what I understand, just doing a little research on it, the Pakis who came over, who did not assimilate, was angry at the depiction of them through Mr. Bean because he was supposed to be this. Every episode would start with him wearing the suit. and driving the typical English car and trying hard to be English. But when he talk, that old Paki accent come out and it just and just laugh at it. You get the point? But he was trying to feel like an oppressor. And that's what this brother here coveted. He didn't want to feel like an Israelite. He didn't want to feel like, he didn't covet the braids and the boots and the beard and the fringes and the way we dress with the gold and the studs. He didn't cover that thing. He didn't covet the sisters with all these different head wraps and different fashions of dresses and skirts and shoes. He didn't covet all of that. He didn't covet none of that. He coveted what's outside. That's what he really wanted. And because he coveted it, he did an action that hurt the whole nation, that hurt everybody, to the point where brothers and sisters died. Keep reading, Robin.
Then I coveted them and took them. And behold,
he took them. And this is very important for anybody in here, brother or sister in here watching online. You want to train your mind to decide what you should desire. Don't let desire come from your belly. You'll be no different than an animal. Because if desire comes from your belly, when you're hungry, what you'll eat? Flies, like them Africans.
God.
If your desire comes from your belly, when you need to have sex with somebody, who you gonna have sex with? Whoever's too slow to run. Like was he rape a man in the castle name? Andrew just raped everybody. Andrew going to the damn memorial and felt horny and touched his own daughter's butt cheek, grabbed it on camera, because he goes by what he feels in his gut, in his stomach. He's ruled by, I'm hungry, I do this. I'm thirsty, I do this. I want to do this, I do that. When you have to live your life by decisions, your life has to be lived on purpose. Everything is on purpose. What you do, how you dress, how you walk, how you speak has to be on purpose. That's what makes us better. We don't just go off of feelings. We decide to do this. We decide to dress like. Why? They ask us all the time on the street, why you all dress so funny? Because I want to. I made a decision to dress how the Lord wants me to dress.
Right.
This ain't got nothing to do with what I like. This ain't got nothing to do with none of that shit. You dress like that because you like to be like that. You want to be like that. And then 10 years later, when you're in your 30s or your 40s, you're looking back at pictures of how you used to dress. Used to, because you don't dress like that no more. If Christ is back in 25 years, I'll be looking just this good, with a badass Mitri from Hazahab on the head, and rings and more leather work from Nayathak, and bad shirts from ITHES, because this is what I covet. I covet this type of shit. You get the point? But if you have a part of you, some of your blood ain't 100% one West. They say it's 100% alcohol on the bottle, but when you sip it, it ain't strong. That's you. It ain't strong. Nigga, I'm the person, one cup and knock you the hell out, because it's 100%. If that's you, in a second, you'll start mingling the thing. And that's how them fake Israelites was born. They start mingling the thing because it's too hard to walk this walk. They have to decide something and do something that's an easier walk, that people will love you for it. And people would just accept you and, just love and hug you and kiss you all the goddamn time because you're so smooth to love. But Black people, we're not smooth to love. We're not the type of people who are smooth to love. We are very hard people to love. And that's why we love hard. That's who we are. And this is what you should covet. This is what you should decide to covet. Now, this weak ass here, he wanted a Babylonian garment. He wanted to look like, I don't know. I watch a little dry ass Prince Harry walking on with an old rabbit tail, an old dumbass jacket with 2 flaps going down to your calves. Who the hell want to wear that shit? You see, come on, GEN.YAHANNA, garment for Passover. Good night. Forget about it. You see Tabawan out there in California, ridiculous garments with the karate gi, and I mean, just insane. Forget about Parasha. Parasha coming in there like an old knight from 1200. Yeah, I mean, spoilers and, wrist thing and the knee protection, and all you're missing is the horse Parasha. They don't know. But listen, no one day. Listen, I'm taking horse lessons. I'm telling you straight up. Next year Passover, boy, I'm listen, Lord of love. If that horse don't throw me off. But once again, you have to want to decide to have that. Go ahead, sis.
I just wanted to ask about men wearing ties.
Mhm.
That I'm not sure years ago I thought I heard U.K. say that you don't really like men wearing ties. I'm not sure.
Once again, the tie fashion is the way of the oppressor.
Okay.
Now, you might have a slavery that requires you to wear a tie. That's not your decision. That's different. You put it on this tie because you're in bondage. That's different from you could wear whatever you want to slave. You could wear a t-shirt. You could wear a button-up shirt. You could wear a blazer, what you want. But you go and what's the store they're going up here?
A Primark.
Primark. You go in Primark and you pick up the tie and you lay it out. You feel the silk. And you put it up against your chest like an old effeminate man. And, does it match my eyes? That dumb shit. And every morning you get up and you suit up in that tie. You're taking on the culture of another nation. You're willingly doing it because there's something in you that covets that other nation. And if you was in Dubai, every morning you'll be putting on that man dress and that little kufi. If wherever you were, you would just willingly take it on and do whatever. Go ahead.
Sorry. What is the tie like? Where does that come from?
The tie comes from the Greeks wearing the neck attire that we have today definitely comes from them. The Greeks or the Romans. It's a phallic symbol, right? That tie, if you notice, the tie is always shaped with that point, just like the Washington Monument, the obelisk. It's a phallic symbol or a man's sexual reproductive organ. It's really a rod you're wearing around your neck. That's what it was. It's really the inception of it came from. The Greeks and the Romans would do all these crazy nonsense. Even in the Apocrypha, it tells you how they would wear the babies, toddlers, around their neck after they done murder us. Right? They would wear them, and that's where you get your culture, these big-ass medallions from and stuff like that. Not with us, but the world. You get the point? But it comes from that culture and practice. You're wearing a penis on your neck. That's really what it is. It's all the way up and flaring at the bottom, just like the monument. Go ahead. Please. Not right now. Maybe afterwards. All right. But you all could share it out, though. To water. So, again, that's you're coveting that type of culture, right? And in this culture, you're going to have what else? Birthdays and hairstyles and different things like that. So you want to guard yourself against it. And this is the thing. If we covet the culture we have, the world has no choice but to follow it. And the proof is in the fashion today. Them Balenciaga jackets and shoes all coming with studs and fringes now and selling for $5,000. When 5-10 years ago, they were saying we was dressing weird. What Drake hairstyle is now? Is it, a clean cut with shaving up? What are you wearing now? Braids, yeah. You get it? If we stand on our culture, they will want it. Not that we need them to want it, but the scriptures say if I went to any other nation, they would accept it. The heathens will accept our culture way faster than we do. Right. We hate it. Not in here, but as a people. You get the point? Keep going on, Rabban.
Khan. Then I coveted them and took them.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it.
That's how you know he had a huge demon on him. You get a badass garment and you bury the shit. You throw dirt on it. He had a horrible demon on him, brother. He was very much in love with the heathen, way more than he was in love with Israel. And that's a dangerous place to be in. I'm not going to say it's understandable because I don't want to send the wrong message. It's very, very realistic and can happen. And I'm going to tell you why. Everything, every living breath that you take pushes the agenda of the heathens. The music we listen to, it's even if it's sung by Black and Hispanic people, it pushes the agenda of the heathens. The movies we watch pushes the agenda of the heathens. How we know that? Everybody up in arms over that Black Little Mermaid. Everybody up in arms over that Black character on the new Game of Thrones show. It was a whole big deal about a Black James Bond. It's telling you the world has to be this way and not that way. You get the point? Everything pushes that. So you have to really consciously decide in your mind and in your spirit to reject that shit at all costs. You have to do it. You have to reject it, or else it's going to creep in. And once it creeps in, it's like a virus that's going to spread. It's going to start off with one little thing, not just celebrating birthdays or, Mother's Day. Mother's Day be a big thing for Israelites when they're now coming into the truth. Why? Because they love mommy so much. Just love mommy. So, we have to give mommy flowers, as if she going to die the day after if you don't give her flowers. She might be upset with you, but she ain't going to die. And it starts right there. And a little more and a little more and a little more. And before long, it's like, I can't stand Captain Parasha. He want to go to camp every goddamn time. I'm fed up of camp. In fact, Parasha is wrong for wanting to go to camp. And then go start your own religion where you can celebrate Mother's Day and don't go to camp. Right. That's that. And so that thing starts. Right? Keep going, Rabban.
And they took him, so Joshua sent messengers and they ran into the tent. And behold, it was hid in his tent and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent and brought them up unto Joshua and unto all the children of Israel and laid them out before the Lord.
Right? So Joshua sent men to that tent that he was in just to see if what he's saying is true. And they went in there and they found it. They found it and brought it out before everybody. Because remember, at this point, Joshua pulling the whole tribe by tribe, family by family, man by man. So it's a huge exercise. So, of course, everybody is out there and it's like, it's an inconvenience. So everybody want to know why we here. This is why. And you throw the garments out and the silver and the gold. How much silver and gold could that be? Could that help the whole nation? Nah, can't help the whole nation. Why would you want it? Why would you even risk it? Because you really don't want to be part of this nation. You really love the oppressors. And some people, they can't give up the oppressor. They just can't. Life is sweeter with the oppressor, with the Africans. You feel a little bit more, validated, because the Africans have a rich history. Egypt and Kemet and all these, river this and this dynasty and that dynasty and how many pharaohs and the East Indians. You like that because, the East Indians and they're so put together and they have all this wealth and resources. Forget about Moab. Even the Bible says Moab has not been emptied out like all other nations. We would covet those things because it gives us some sort of validity. When our validation comes from the Bible, our validation comes from our culture, the things we keep, the food we eat, the clothes we wear. That's where our validation comes from. Get the point? Keep going.
And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons and his daughters, and his oxen and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had.
What did sheep do? What did sheep? Sis, what did sheep do?
I think it was the fact that it belonged to him.
That's it. What did sheep do? The sheep ain't do shit. Sheep ain't do nothing but be a sheep and grow wool. But Joshua's saying, bring the sheep. Bring everybody. His rib, his kids, everybody. Now he's the one stole. Everybody had to come get his judgment now. Go ahead.
And they brought them in unto the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day.
Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord will trouble you this day. Like we dying on the damn battlefield. We getting shamed before the heathen. And all you could do is put on this garment in secret and feel better about yourself. You've troubled us, man. I lose good men because you wanted to wear this gay apparel. Go ahead.
Also, all his family got killed because he caused other people to die and they lost their...
All his family got killed because he coveted the other nations. That's why. That's why. Don't start breaking anything down. Stick to the root of it. The root of it, his family didn't matter to him. That woman in the house didn't matter to him. Them kids didn't matter to him. he'd have traded them up to become a prince of Babylon.
Right.
That's what he'd have did. You know what I mean? Like some people hear this, oh, the Lord's so cruel, he killed his family and little babies and shit. That nigga didn't care about them kids.
That's right.
He didn't care about nobody but himself. I saw this goodly garment and I coveted it and I took it. Was he thinking about judgment at that time? Was he thinking about what would happen to his people? No. This was his dealing. This was his doing. This was nothing else. This was just his dealing and his doing. Keep reading.
And all Israel stoned him with stones.
And all Israel did what?
Stoned him with stones.
It's rough, boy. All Israel put judgment on this brother here. Rough. Now, did all Israel want to stone him with stones?
No.
I mean, we don't know. But what did happen? They did stone him with stones. A decision was made.
Good.
Just like he could have decided to not touch that damn garment. He could have decided that these Babylonians are absolutely gay. They're disgusting. I don't want to look like them, talk like them, be like them, have their spirit. He could have decided that day in secret in that little tent. But instead he coveted it, and no, this is the decision. Keep going.
And burned them with fire.
Yikes.
After they had stoned them with stones.
Mm-hmm.
And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger. Wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day.
You understand? The Lord turned his anger away from Israel that day. You get the point? That's our culture. That is our culture. Let me give you another thing that's right in here. That is our culture that we lost today. Why did Joshua start the investigation?
It's because there wasn't a winning like how they was meant to.
And what does that let you know?
That if you're winning, the Lord is with you.
And if you're not,
then the Lord is not with you. So.
And then something must be wrong. Right. So then Joshua wanted to do one thing. Joshua wanted to correct the situation. And as an Israelite, it is our culture to want to correct a situation. This is since from the days of Adam. What did the Lord say about Adam when he raised Adam up? There was not a man to till the ground. Meaning what? There was not somebody to set the world in order. And Adam came and set the world in order. It's an Israelite thing to come in there and straighten up the place and clean up, and you get the point? You see, like our sisters in the truth, they come into a spot and they start sweeping and, you know, putting things together and cooking and doing things without being told. They just do it. That's our culture. That's in us. A heathen ain't doing that shit. A heathen finding every excuse to just sit there and do nothing and watch everything go to hell. But Israel, whatever we in, whatever little small and impoverished situation we in, we make it better. We make it look good. To the point where we don't even seem like we're on the bottom with our everyday movements, because we're trying to raise that standard every single time. We don't live like the heathen. We live differently. You're going to have to keep in mind that alongside the decision to be covetous and to desire the culture of the Lord, you're also going to have to desire judgment. You're also going to have to desire correction. You're going to have to desire, okay, how could I make this better? What am I doing wrong? How could I get to the right side? You get the point? You're going to have that, because without it, that Babylonian garment just going to stay somewhere hidden and it'll never be corrected. Israel going to be suffering. And that's what happens in the Christian church. In the Christian church, there's somebody molesting some child, and people know. Don't nobody say nothing. Don't nobody come out and charge this person with something and raise hell to correct it. And then what do you have? You have a child that just gets destroyed, and some fool going on to just destroy more children. But right there in the midst of it, you have somebody who knows what the hell is going on, and nothing is ever said. You're gonna have to desire correction. You're gonna have to want something to stop and something to continue. You're gonna have to want it. You get the point? And then you bring it up to whoever, and that person gonna take it. That's what happened with Joshua. It was like they was dying. It's like, damn, how the hell are we losing? The Lord's supposed to be with us. The Lord ain't with us. Something's going on. Start to go through and start to check this thing out. That's our culture. That's who we are. The king and the queen don't know about that. That Andrew went and raped how much people? One we know about. Think about, he's how old? 60-something? 60-something years old. He didn't start raping last year, you know.
Right.
He didn't start raping last year. The English supposed to have done check the whole house and listen, we're failing with Brexit. We can't control the country. You know, we dip in the English pound is at the ultimate lowest right now worldwide. Let's check through this family and see who the hell's sinning and get rid of him. Nah, but instead they got rid of the victim. They got rid of the victim and just kept pushing. Just kept pushing. That's not our culture. And that's not our culture. So, sis, you understand? To take on the spirit of another nation, to take on the culture of another nation in the spirit, you're sinning against the Lord because you really don't like his culture. Just like if you're a child in the house of your parents and in your mind, your parents just too poor. Your parents just don't look like the other nation's parents, or they're too strict. They don't let you do what the hell you want to do. So you start envying the neighbor's children and their ways and what they have. And your parents get offended because it's like, nigga, I'm working hard for you. Why you can't appreciate what I'm putting down? It's the same spirit behind it. You get the point? So, Rabban, so that's just an overall of it. But that Proverbs 31, give me the other one with Herod.
All right. It's a Matthew 14 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
But when Herod's a birthday was
skip up 1 or 2 verses.
Matthew 14 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her.
Mm-hmm.
And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him as a prophet.
So like that's going into something else where his brother wanted John to co-sign his sin, or this heathen woman wanted John to co-sign his sin. Skip down again.
Verse 6. But when Herod's birthday was kept,
mm-hmm.
the daughter of Herodias danced before him and pleased her Herod.
Mm-hmm.
Whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask.
Right. And this whore, she went on to request from Herod John's head. So on his birthday, this was again heathen culture. She came and danced before him and seduced him and pleased him. And Herod, again, thinking with his stomach like a heathen, say, listen, ask whatever you want. I'll give it to you. Why? Because he wants that woman. And she said, listen, that John the Baptist, is it more? Keep reading.
Come on.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. And she, being before instructed of her mother,
mm-hmm.
said, give me here John the Baptist's head
right.
in a charger.
Mm-hmm. A charger is like a platter. So she wanted John's head on a platter. This was made on a man's birthday as a gift. Not to him, but he gave a gift to some slut who wanted to kill John the Baptist. You get the point? So you like birthdays, horrible things happen on birthdays. How many birthday parties you ever heard about got shut up? Or, somebody coming in and get beaten up bad, or somebody overdose and die or almost die. That's what's going to happen. You get the point? Because it's not our culture. So Rabban, so for in your situation, okay, this focusing on the birthdays with this brother, it's like putting a plaster on a stab wound.
Right.
It's only so long before the blood starts flowing again. You get the point?
Come on, sir.
like his issue is he covets the world, and fighting him on birthdays is not how you would go about, getting him to see it your way. First, to begin, if the Lord has a blinder on his eye or her eyes, they're not going to see the truth. They're not going to get it. It's only until the Lord allows them to see that they see. That's the first thing you had to get, because what will happen is, over time, with you struggling with him, you'll start to get depressed in yourself, thinking, why I can't get them to see? Why I can't? You get frustrated, and it ain't up to you. It's not up to you. That's the first thing you had to get, all right?
Right.
The second thing is, he is going to have to reach a point. Now, you're doing right by telling it to him. Continue telling him. Tell him, the things that he's doing. Scripture say, cry aloud, spare not, show Israel their transgressions. You should do it. Continue doing it. It may or may not turn. Usually, it's not going to turn. There's a dynamic there with you and your brother that's personal. Meaning what? He knew you when you all was young and small and you all had snotty nose. You get the point? So you telling him about Christ and stop celebrating birthdays, he does not see Officer Raaba, and he sees little snotty nose Pookie. You get the point? Right. So there's a whole dynamic there. Outside of that personal relationship, the world has not hurt him yet. You understand?
Right.
90% of the people coming to the truth either has been directly hurt by the world or has experienced secondhand assault by somebody else who the world done hurt. And they had enough of it and they want this kingdom gone. He does not want this kingdom gone enough as you do. You understand? He's still in love with this place. He has a love affair with this place. You can't get him off of it. It's like you have a brother and he loves some whore. And you know this broad, when he's at work, is opening up shop for everybody. And you heartbroken because he's in love with this whore. But he don't want to hear you, Ark. He don't want to hear nothing you saying because he's in love. He needs to be hurt. You understand?
Right.
Now, I'm not saying go pray for him to be hurt. It's going to come. You're telling him the right thing. You're doing the right thing. Keep telling it to him. Now, the real soldier, go ahead. You was about to say something?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, the real soldier thing to do is, this is what you have to understand. The Lord will have mercy on your relatives for your sake.
Right.
We all have mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers, uncles, aunts who you love dearly. Not just, that's my auntie or something, or my uncle, but this person was so integral in my life. Godparents, friends. And for nothing, they would follow you into the truth. They won't. But you could serve the Lord so zealously and you not have no desire for the ways of the world. The Lord knows how your heart bleeds for this fool in the world. He'll have mercy on them for your sake. For your sake, COVID passed through and ain't touched none of your houses. People got COVID in here, right? How many people lost close family members to COVID in here? You? Unfortunate. But look at everybody else. That's just one, right? Unfortunate. But the Lord can have mercy on people around you who's not at all in love with the truth like you are. So you put your head straight into the truth. Right. You be overzealous. You become a burning fire with the truth. And then the Lord now, it's up to him now. If misfortune comes, well, listen, I told you. I did tell you about this thing here. You didn't listen. If misfortune never comes, it's not really mercy on them. It's mercy on you. Because the Lord knows this thing could shake you to the core. You get the point?
Come on, sir.
So, Robin, if you love your brother, make it to every single camp.
That's right.
That's right.
You understand? You love your brother. You don't want him celebrating birthdays no more. You ain't got to say a goddamn thing to him no more. Go on the street and teach about birthdays. Go on the street and teach everybody white man is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. Come to the Passover. Come to the feast days. Be brotherly. Be brotherly. Obey Matthew 18 and 15. Go to him and him alone.
Right.
Be a whole beacon, just a radioactive thing full of the Holy Spirit for the Lord. Why? For the sake of your loved ones, Zach. Let your life be a case put forward for the Lord. Let the Lord look at you and be like, I tell that man, don't go kill that house yet. You know, nah, that brother there, he have family over there. You know, this is not for them. This is for him. This is for him. You understand, Robin?
Come on, sir.
This is for everybody. You may have loved ones who you want them to follow you. They're not going to. Or they're not going to right now. Don't make your life about them. Go serve the Lord ridiculous. Be a goddamn fanatic. Be a full-out fanatic about it. And watch the Lord have mercy on people around you. I mean, ridiculous mercy. It's just stuff that would kill other people. And somehow, damn, he ain't died? How the hell that happened? More than likely, it's because the Lord thought of you before, he had you suffer a heartbreak. You get the point? And that's, I try to tell brothers in that I had a few brothers in DC that lost people close to them. And it's very difficult when somebody's that close to you that's, a friend in the world or some estranged cousin or something. Those friends that you grew up with that's so tight with you, that you hold so dearly, this is the cold, hard reality. They do not love you like you love them.
Right.
You think this is a mutual relationship and we love each other. You love them.
That's right.
They do not love you. They think they do, but they don't. And you hear like, damn, why they don't come into the truth? I'm sending them videos, I'm sending them this, I'm sending them that. You love them. They don't love you. That doesn't mean you hate them. Understand what they're capable of. That's all they're capable of doing for right now. You capable of way more. So go do more. Go do it. Go build a society where having a birthday is gay. It's shit. You say now somebody come in and a cake, happy birthday to you. That's all gay shit. Go build a system. Go on the street so hard, Robin, that you raise up so many soldiers that your brother is like, damn, I'm gonna get with him to help me with this.
That's right. That's right.
I don't care about none of that shit. Them soldiers go to war and enlist in the army and don't get to celebrate birthdays and family dinners, and they sacrifice all of that for a reason. Because they love their nation and love their country. You in the same boat, Rabban. We in the same boat together.
Right.
Forget talk to one of these days, brother. You better sit and talk with Captain Parashi, Officer Karathian, Officer Dumgaba about how it was in the beginning, when them brothers was out there sacrificing time with their families, with their ribs, money, slaveries. One of y'all lost a slavery over speaking. I think they played the speaking at his slavery, Robin. You think this nigga have time to worry about birthdays?
Right.
Any point? Go out there and just sacrifice and build something that just overshadows birthdays and overshadows just trivial shit that don't matter.
Right.
You understand? Go build that place that he can't do without or she can't do without for whoever listening. That's what you're going to have to do more work. That's it. Not more begging the person, but more work. Go build a camp in Manchester. Let's see if he celebrates another birthday. Go build a camp in Manchester with about 50 niggas on every corner and teaching and blazing, and the cops show up and the cops have to do what? Tuck the tail and turn around. Because they sinners. They sinners and they can't stop the work of the Lord. How much times that happened to you, Crash? The cops show up. The cops show up until the Taliban was in Birmingham. Right. I think your second camp. They come down there with like 2 vans, the SWAT police. What the cops say? He said, I couldn't believe it's these wee little men they're talking about. But brother, they was out there blazing up.
That's right.
Blazing up the place. And them cops had to pack everybody up and leave. Leave. You get the point, Robin?
Come on.
You're going to have to go out there and rock it, brother. Rock it like there's no tomorrow. Rocket, like you had something precious and nobody else has it. Every day, all day, just be on fire for the truth. And you'll see a change, brother. You'll see the change you want. You know what I mean? You'll see the Lord gonna give you what your spirit is longing for. You really love your brother. He don't even know what love is. You understand? He doesn't even understand what love really is. And that's sometimes a strain on relationships where there's one person who is serving the Lord and really loves the other, but the other one isn't. You get the point?
Come on, sir.
Good to go?
Come on. What?
I'm correct, sir.
Go ahead. A question online,
please.
Do you want to bring it up on the screen? Or
if you could, if it's easy for you to do it.
All right. So the question from Ayesha.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, Sir Lakia, could I get a breakdown of Luke 16 and 18, please? I know multiple wives is lawful, but confused with the part where it says put away and marry another, being adultery against the women.
Luke what?
Luke 16 and 18.
Okay. All right, let's get.
16.
All right. Radayali, you want to read that for me? Nice and louder. The mic will catch him back there, right? No sweat.
Luke 16 and what?
18.
Luke 16 and 18.
Mm-hmm. Nice and louder. You go loud with it.
Luke 16 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
Whosoever put away his wife and marry another committed adultery.
Right.
And whosoever married her that is put away from her husband committed adultery.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what she was saying, she was confused about what?
So that she knows that it is a lawful for a man to have a multiple wives.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the a put away and to marry another.
Okay.
He
puts okay. Read it one more time out.
Whosoever put away his wife and married another committed adultery.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever married her that is put away from her husband committed adultery.
All right, I get it. Give me in the beginning it was not so. Give me in the beginning it was not so. Give me let them be reconciled. I think that's Corinthians 7. Karafi, see if you find that for me. In the beginning it wasn't so. Let them be reconciled.
Beginning was not so. That is Matthew 19 verse 8. I can grab that.
I'll hold that for me, Rob, and I'm gonna have you read it. All right.
Come on,
okay. So I understand what she's asking. Okay, so this here, once again, you have what's called the letter of the law, and you have the spirit of the law. Once again, according to the letter of the law, there is no law against dreadlocks. There is no law saying if you celebrate birthdays, you go and get stoned. But there is a spirit of the law. Get the point? There's a spirit in there. And what is the spirit of the law? What's the spirit that flows through the Bible? Get somebody else. Anybody? Youngsters right here in the middle. Glasses. Go ahead. You? Go ahead. What is the spirit of the law? What is the spirit of the Bible? You want to pass? No sweat. What's the spirit of the law? Let me help you out. You have rules in a household, right?
Correct.
That's the letter of the law. Wash your feet when you come in. Brush your teeth before you go to bed. What's the spirit of them rules? Go ahead. It's the spirit of the Most High, but okay, what is it? What's this? The law is trying to, okay. Trying to word it without giving it to you. Rob, you was going to say something?
Come on, sir. I was going to say the spirit of the law is brotherhood.
That's one of it.
Cool.
Okay, the letter. What is the letter of the law? Come on. How about? Yeah.
I'm not sure about the letter, but I was gonna say, is it the way in which you carry out the law?
The way in which the way in which you carry out the law is, what is it supposed to do? What is it supposed to honor? No, so it's right down your tongue, and it's just probably how I say a word in it. Go ahead.
It's the spirit of the law, like the grey areas.
And what is that? What does, when it's gray areas, what are you supposed to do?
The conscience.
What are you supposed to do with the gray areas? No sweat. Come on, Karate.
What the spirit was the real meaning of why?
Okay, so then what is the spirit of the law? Okay, let me get you a law everybody know. Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man lie with a man like he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They must be put to death. What does the law say? What does the letter of the law say, sis? No, that's not what the letter of the law says.
It's like, sir, if I could.
Sis again. What's the letter of the law say? That they will be put to death. That's what the letter of the law say. What does it say here? When you're doing 35 in a 30-mile-per-hour zone, you get $35 ticket. Is that up for negotiation? No. He was doing this. The letter of the law says you're going to be put to death. What's the spirit of that law? Same sister. What's the spirit of that law? No, that's the letter. There's a spirit behind that law. That's the letter of the law.
It's a spirit that if you change, you get a chance.
Nah, I ain't saying nothing about changing. To change your life into this dust. The spirit is, I better never be a home.
Right.
It's a deterrent. The spirit is what the person making the law really wants to happen. The spirit of the speed laws is, if it's a 30-mile-per-hour zone, you have to, and you're going over 40, you get a ticket. What's the spirit of that law? No.
That you don't break the...
That you don't go that fast. And from not going that fast, you have lower chances of serious accident. You still might hit somebody at 30 miles per hour, 25, but will they live? Yeah, more than likely. But if you hit somebody at 65, they could die. The spirit of it is what you want to look at. So now, with this scripture here, read it one more time, Radaya.
Luke 16 and 18.
Go ahead.
Whosoever put away his wife and married another committed adultery.
Mm-hmm.
And whosoever married her that is put away from her husband committed adultery.
So now the sin here would be what? Adultery.
Correct.
Right? The sin would be adultery. Is the sin putting them away? Of it, but it could lead to adultery. Why? Now you open the door for another man to come talk to her. You get the point? It's the spirit of it. What's the spirit of these laws of adultery? The letter of adultery says what? What happens to adulterer or adulteress?
Oh, sorry, the spirit is to never, don't put your wife away.
The spirit is to never divorce.
Right.
But the letter says if you do divorce, you get stoned to death.
Correct.
What does the Lord want? He doesn't want divorce. Give me the one I asked for, Rabban.
Come on. Book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse. Shall I read from verse 4? It says from the beginning, made a male and female.
Pick it up from wherever it seemed right.
Come on.
Matthew what?
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 4.
Go ahead.
And he answered and said unto them. Well, it's like I can read verse 3.
No, hold on. You could start at verse 3.
Verse 3,
right?
Come.
Right. The Pharisees asked Christ a similar question to what the sister is asking, but the spirit of the two questions is different. The sister is asking for edification to understand it, because it seems like it's saying two things. It seems like it's saying you can't, remarry. That's what it seems like it's saying. But then the Pharisees asking Christ because they want to stone Christ. They want to put him to death. and they want Christ to say something that goes against Moses' law so they could charge him for being a heretic against the law of Israel and execute him. Right? Go ahead.
Book of Matthew chapter 19 verse 3.
Please.
The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?
Right? Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? Right? Not for adultery, for every cause. Because what does usually happen? Brothers know it. Block, quick, block that button. I ain't answering, I ain't calling, I ain't coming. It happens because we're people. People offend people at times. People get angry. It happens. Right? But what could happen when there's no spirit is you could be totally cold and put away, and that's that. And that's what was happening in Israel. What was happening in Israel was what's happening today. What happens today in a bad marriage? Just give me some things that happen in a bad marriage. Who are they on? Come on. You're scared to say it? I'm going to say it to them. Come on.
It's like no one talks.
Okay, that's usual. That happens, on a football team. Yeah, I'm talking about real life bad marriage problems.
Financial issues.
Okay, that ain't okay. What happens between the two people that's just bad today? Abuse, domestic abuse. Somebody beating somebody else, right? Media would like to tell you it's always the men. You sisters, you'll be WWE when it comes to that man in the house and all. You'll wait till he sleep and come with the pan, the hot grits, kick him down the stairs, stabbing him in the leg. All kind of dumb shit happens. Israel was abusing each other so much that Moses said, y'all stop. I'm going to give you a bill of separation, a bill of divorce, because you're going to kill each other, right? That's what Moses did. Moses did this thing because we was doing bad, right? Rabban, read the other one you was holding first. Read, skip to verse 4. Yeah, keep reading, Salaki, verse 4.
Come on, sir. And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh.
They twain shall be one flesh. That's how it was supposed to be in the beginning. Go ahead.
Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder.
Right? That's how it was supposed to be. We were supposed to be children with no outside influence. Everybody in here who has children, you are going to remember the day your child starts getting influence from outside. It's going to be clear. The behavior going to be different. The way they respond to you is different. The way they roll their eyes and shit back at you. You're gonna be like, this fool, I don't know who. I want to see his friends. I want to see who the hell she talking to. You're going to check this shit out because now you realize there's an influence coming. We were supposed to be that child before the influence of the world, where you're married, you're rock and roll, you're soul that shit out, you'll thug it out, you'll go to war for each other. You get the point? Go ahead.
They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement? And
read it one more time, Rob, and a little louder. Any more volume on this?
All
right.
They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away?
Right? Now, these Pharisees, they don't have no understanding. But they don't have no understanding, not similar to the sister. The sister is really trying to find it out. These Pharisees have no understanding because they covet the way of the oppressor. They really want to live life like the Romans. And Christ is going against it, so they have to try to kill him. So now there's like, well, if that's the case, why did Moses give a writing of divorcement? So now Christ was very, very sharp. He was not slow to it at all. What does it sound like they're asking? When they say, why did Moses? Because Christ explained, in the beginning, the Lord wanted man to stay with a woman and no man put asunder. Then they say, well, so why Moses give a bill of divorce? What are they asking?
Basically, you don't follow Moses. Say Moses one thing, Moses something else.
Well, okay, that's one. They're saying that. Or they want him to say, well, Moses had it wrong.
Right.
And now there's like, he said Moses was wrong. And now they could put him to death. Christ realized what they was coming with. Moses was not wrong. Moses does what any brother who is in a position of a father over a people that don't want nobody to die no more. That's it. Moses was watching you beat the broad in her head until she get the what do you call the big swelling?
A cocoa.
Concussion.
that's what we call it. Hematoma. That's the medical term for the shit. What do you call it? A cocoa head?
Yeah, cocoa.
Cocoa melon. You get that big hematoma, and she's sitting down there in some 911, and after the fight, you're ready to talk to each other and you all love each other. But before the demon is on you to try to destroy anything, or some brother laying up, stabbed up, or his back melted off with hot oil or hot grease because she angry with him. Moses was tired of seeing that shit, man. So he said, you know what? You don't want to be with each other no more. Here, it's over. It's done. You go your way, you go your way. Why? Why Moses say that? Keep reading, Rabban.
He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts.
Because what?
Because of the hardness of your hearts.
Because of what?
Because of the hardness of your hearts.
Go ahead.
Suffered you to put away your wives.
Did Moses want to do it? He suffered it. He knew, man, listen, the Lord wants you all to stay together, but he surely don't want you all dead. He surely don't want you all walking around with one eye and she ain't got no more fronts no more. So he suffered you. Go ahead.
Suffered you to put away your wives.
Go ahead.
But from the beginning, it was not so.
From the beginning is what it was not so. So this is the background behind it, right? This is the background behind it. Moses allowed you to do it because it was an extreme circumstance. It was so extreme, it's like, damn. You get the point? It's like we had to stop this shit here. We're gonna be burying people left, right, and center. What happens if Moses didn't do it and somebody dies? The person who lives gets to do what? And then do what? Kill the next person or kill themselves.
Right.
It doesn't stop it. It doesn't stop the hardness of their heart. Now, somebody explain to me the hardness of your heart in one word. Explain when it says because of the hardness of your heart in one word. I'll take that. I want another word, something a little bit more. I'll take that too. All that is in it. That's in it too.
It's like you said. Was stubbornness said?
That's in it too. There's something else though.
For me, it's to forgive or forgiveness.
Okay, but what is the hardness of their heart? What's another word you could use to describe them who have hard hearts?
Don't listen.
Cold.
That's in it too. It's cold ain't the only thing. It's cold, selfish, stubborn. Come on.
So like you're wicked.
Wicked, they're wicked too. Something else. There's one word that's all of that shit. And this is why you cannot ever start thinking this is too extreme or anything.
Rebellious.
Oh, that's in it too. One word. Huh? Lust is in it too. Go ahead.
Is it hatred?
All that is in it too.
It's sin.
You will sin. There's one word that encompasses all of that. It's gonna make you sin. It's gonna make you lustful, selfish, rebellious, cold, stubborn.
Is it a worldly?
Worldly is the closest to it right now. Come on, worldly going once, worldly going twice. Anybody have something else? You're Christian. You are a walking Christian. You're a tambourine banging, Holy Ghost filled Christian. What's the proof? You're gonna fight in the house, cuss the person out, you no good nigga. Don't worry about that. Satan don't want this to come out. Wait, let me catch the camera. You fighting, you know. You get the point? You fight in the house. As soon as they go to church, what's he doing? Come, kiss everybody. Yeah, brother. Oh, kiss the double. You a goddamn hypocrite.
Right.
You're Christian. That's what Christians do. Christians love everybody. But that child who begging, please, please, no more. They don't care about that. They're molesting everybody. Right? Christians love everybody, but love no one at the same time. Moses gave a bill of divorce because you was Christian. But if you was one West, what do?
You forgive and
Well, before the forgiveness come, what had to come? Where's my come on, Prasha.
Like I say, if I could
say it before. Go ahead.
You bring that to council.
Before that. That's true. What you saying is true.
You go to he and the alone.
That's how it's how to start.
Right.
Y'all might get angry. Y'all cuss each other out. Notice he said here, read verse, where we at?
It was in verse, just read verse 8.
Read verse 8 again.
Come on. He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives.
So who is he talking? Who was Moses talking to here when he said he suffered you to put away your wives?
Is he talking to them at the time?
He's talking to the men. Why is he talking to the men?
The men are the ones putting away the wives, the men in charge.
The men in charge. So you have the power to change it. What should happen is you have a disagreement. You all might need some air. She might need to go to the gym and walk it off. Or you might need to go down to the range and shoot some inanimate object so you don't kill nobody. And then you come back home and you might wake up, but you tell her, come and sit down here. And you talk. And you make her talk. Because as sisters, what do you not want to do? Any takers? Or no? Or you all ain't talking now? I'm gonna make somebody talk. Just right here to the wall. You don't want to talk about the problems. You don't want to, because talking about the problems usually means what?
Admitting you're wrong.
Yeah, give her a hand. Strong answers. And it's not, I'm not saying, give her a good hand, man. What the hell is that bullshit? God damn, all those kids are like rain falling outside. You're acting like you're gonna bruise your goddamn hands, man.
Right.
And that answer is not just for the sisters. Going and solving the problem usually comes with taking responsibility yourself. Usually both parties is wrong. It's never a one-sided thing. Very rarely it's a one-sided thing. Usually what happens, somebody offends somebody and never says it to the person. Never comes back and says, hey, this thing you did here was wrong. And then that person holds on to it and gives a counteracting offense. And that starts the bullshit. So it always ends with two people saying sorry. But initially, you can sit her down and solve it. Now, because this is wisdom that came from being in the truth. This is wisdom that came from learning from Commanding Gen.YAHANNA. I had the opportunity to learn at his feet with him sitting here, and I'm right there taking notes. But before that, most brothers and sisters in the world have absolutely, help out there with the boy, have absolutely no, wisdom and knowledge on how to deal with it. So in a situation like that, you might need to do what Rabban answered earlier, which was get counsel. You get the point? You're going to get counsel. And after going through the counsel a few times, you're going to start to develop the skill of how to manage that marriage, where divorce is never an option. Because of the world, what usually happens when a man or a woman has an issue is, I'm done, moving on. And dummy on the Facebook, single as F, ready to mingle. Look at me, I'm doing all these dumbass angles here. If you're a brother, she taking a picture like this, brother, just, block. Just don't even worry with her. She can't do this here. Then there's something she don't want you to see here that she hiding here. Just, leave her the hell alone. That's what usually happens. Or the brother goes off and just, commits adultery with anything because it's a vexation. You're going to learn how to fix it, right? So this is the background and the backdrop, the foundation of it. Now let's go to where the sister had the question, 16 and 18.
Kind of, it was Luke 16 and 18.
Go ahead. Yeah, if you have it, read it. Nice and loud.
Luke 16 and 18. Whosoever put away his wife and married another committed adultery.
Once again, talking to the man. Right, go ahead.
And whosoever married her that is put away from her husband committed adultery.
Once again, talking to another man. Why is that? Is he saying a sister can't be off? No, that's not what he's saying. But he's talking to the men because you have the power to change this thing. Breaking it down to layman's too. If you put away your wife, and marry you put slack. Whosoever puts away his wife and marries another committed adultery. This means what? This is how the world is today. Brother has a woman or a man. Let's keep it simple. A man has a woman. He's having problems with this woman. He divorces her to marry another woman who he thinks in his dumb head he's not going to have no problems with. Right? Because why? Sisters, y'all come with what? There's something y'all come with. Problems. Right? Thank you, sis. Give her a hand. And it's not a bad thing. That's what makes you special. You ain't like that dry, boring ass white woman who don't come with no problems. She don't have no problems so much, she'll open her legs to everybody. She's so problem free. But you have some problems. You get the point? So that's what makes you different from everybody else. That first line is talking about how things happen in the world today. Right? That who's it, Charles? Who was married to Diana? Charles, right? Charles was married to Diana first, right? Wasn't he? He was married to Diana first. How did that Camilla Parker Bow come in?
He
Go ahead.
had an affair with her because them two was falling out.
That's it. But the Bible says, he who puts away his wife and marries another commits adultery. Charles committed adultery. Right? He committed adultery on Diana. Now, I don't know what the hell she was doing, but that's another topic. What was he supposed to do? Ariella. Counsel who? You just say counsel her. You fishing for that answer, but you just toss that line out there and whoever bites. No. Counsel who? He wasn't meant to divorce her, so what should he have done? You want to pass?
No counsel with her.
Because he went to get both of them.
Yeah, that's all. Now the royal family had two princesses. What's the problem? No, Charles could flex. What are you talking about? You get the point? He has Diana and he has Camilla Parker Bow. And guess what? If both of them frustrate him and he want to get another one,
Right.
yeah, keep everybody. Shit, more the merrier. What do you have? I don't care. But you can't divorce one and go marry another. That's adultery. You get the point? You can't put her away and marry another one. You could have women, as much women as you want, brothers. You could have women whether the one you have already is giving you problems or not. That has nothing to do with it. What matters is you want more than one. What the world tells you to do is, I'm in love with this one. I love this one. You had to choose. You don't have to choose. You could have, it's either A or B. Nigga, write C in and put both.
Right.
That's how it is. You write C in and put both. You take everybody. That's not a problem. You take everybody. Everybody used to watch Power, right? You all watch Power with Ghost. Ghost was an idiot. He should have just had everybody. Everybody would have still been alive. Nobody would have died. He just had more wives. That's all. You get the point? Like, that's what the spirit of it is. You cannot forsake one for the other. You can't do that. Marriage is something that's so traumatic in the spirit that if there's a divorce, it literally feels like a part of you is gone. And that's something the Lord does not want us as a people to experience. So that's why he's made that law. Moses realized better you miss part than everybody die. So he gave you a bill of divorce. You get the point? But here he didn't want that. So now he's saying, whosoever puts away his wife and marries another committing adultery. And on the flip side, whoso read it again from Aria, from the middle, not Aria, Redaya.
Where do you say from the middle?
From the middle, and whosoever. The middle of 18.
Yeah. And whosoever married her that is put away from her husband committed adultery.
So now, what? Somebody break down that part. Whosoever married her that is put away from her husband committed adultery. Break down that part for me.
So
Come on.
meaning the man that he divorced her, if she goes with another man,
Not she goes with another man. It didn't say about her going with her. It said whosoever marries her that is put away. Where's the responsibility being placed?
It's an on the men, so
on the new man. And boyfriend number 2 for all you Beyonce fans. Right? And to the left. I'll have another you in a minute to the left. That another you who coming? If you come in here because me and her having problems and you think you're going to slide in and be every song on the radio is I can do it better than he can. I'll be boyfriend number 2. What else? All them R&B songs is about adultery. All them smooth reggae songs. That what's the other one? Oh boy, it's a skinny nigga from Jamaica. Boy, he's singing them. Dexter Daps. All his songs is about adultery. Just get past the hook. Go home tonight, get past the hook, and just listen to the lyrics. Just listen to the lyrics. It's all about another man's woman. That's adultery. What he's saying is, brothers, if you ain't so quick to go get a woman who is she going through something, she mightn't be in her right mind. If you leave that alone, that brother might be able to come back for his rib. So there's no divorce. Get the point? There's no divorce. That's what he wants. He wants to have no divorce. It's not supposed to happen ever. It's a whole, it's too many downstream things that get affected from a divorce. Worse again, if there's children involved, it's just way too traumatic. The Lord doesn't want it. The spirit of this is, brother, you and her having problems, don't put her away. Go marry if you want to, but she's still yours. The world is telling you you could escape the problem with this girl and go marry another one. The Lord says, nigga, you're going to keep this problem and you could go get another problem if you want to. That's why the UPK is called the home of the truth. Let me give you a news flash for most brothers, and this is no disrespect to the sisters. Having a woman is problem, Zach. It's a problem. It's a good problem if you know how to look at it. Right. But if you're a Christian, you're just gonna throw your hands up. But if you know how to look at it, it's a good problem. Having anything is a problem. Anybody have cars in here? Is it a problem or is it smooth sailing? Huh? Nakapa, she just shake her head one time. It's a problem, right? It's but finish it. But it's a problem having a car, but having the car far outweighs the problems. Well, guess what? These Israelite women, they're problems, Zach. They're problems. You're going to be caught in a problem. Don't think about the tail. A ton of y'all be thinking about that tail and just smiling. Brother, there's problems at the end of that tail. Right. Rob, what you talking about? Rob, and they introduced me to the wine. What's the ginger wine? Rob, are you up there just buying ginger wine for all them girls in Manchester? Huh? He's like, right. Hey, man. Hey. What? There's a tremendous benefit at the other side of that problem. God. But you're going to have to be raised one west to do it. If you covet us of this world, how does this world present a marriage?
Everything's happy.
Everything's happy. What else? Sis?
Like the picture perfect kind of like white wedding, picket fence kind of.
Picture perfect, no problems.
Yeah.
No problems. Go ahead.
The ring.
The ring. What else? Give me the actual marriage. How the actual, once you don't get past the wedding, the whole functionality of a marriage.
Like everything is in harmony.
Everything is just harmony and there's no issues. Monogamy. You could only have one at a time. That's what they're not telling you. It's not one for life, you know. One at a time. So if you want to switch out, trade it in.
Man goes to work, woman works at home, harmony,
That's changing. That's not how the world presents marriage no more. You could look at the commercials and tell you that. The commercials have the man in the house, the woman going to work. There's another thing. The woman is in charge of every marriage. She's the head of the home. She's the one who has the say. She's the one who Esau respects. Yeah, domestic call to your house. The neighbors could call and say you're all fighting. As soon as the cops show up, who they ask for? Yeah, come outside. What is he doing to you? Meanwhile, she had a dagger behind her damn back like Chucky. And you in there like, nigga, I'm the victim. The world gives authority to the woman. In the truth, the authority belongs to the brother. Whatever happens in that house, brother, is your fault. That's what you have to understand. Nobody don't give a damn about her loud mouth or her hard head or her spending habits. If you didn't want it, you shouldn't have had sex with her.
Right.
It's simple. Now, if that is being taught, you might reconsider all these easy, things you're doing. You might now start to think about it as in a more serious way. You get the point? The Lord wants a certain type of spirit going through with this thing here. So primarily for this one, for the sister's question, he is putting a responsibility on the brothers. Don't be a Christian in your marriage, man. Don't be weak. Do not be weak. She might have some issues. Go to war with them. Newsflash. Let me tell you a secret. You might have some issues. Go to war with that nigga. Don't make her fix you. You're weak. We Christians in the world is like, I'm looking for a woman who could make me better. But nigga, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Go get counsel. Go fix yourself so you can have it. The responsibility is on you. Handle it.
That's right.
Other brothers, you see this brother having a problem with his woman, she might advertise the tale as single. You should be like, you have a husband, yeah, but we ain't together no more. Nah, that's your husband, sis. Nah, in fact, stop DMing me. Stop doing this. If more men do that, there's no boyfriend number 2. But men are like on the damn line in Beijing with Usain. Ready, set, go. It's a race to see who can replace the girl. The Lord don't want that bullshit. So for the sister, that's what he's talking about here. He's talking about that here. Give me the one I asked for with reconcile in 1 Corinthians 7.
1 Corinthians 7 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
And unto the married I command you, get not eye from the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband,
Mm-hmm.
but and if she depart, let her remain unmarried.
Let her remain unmarried. Let not the wife depart from the husband. So that's the first part. Brothers, don't put her away. Don't put her away. That sister in Judges, the Levite woman who left him and went back to her father because they had problems. What happened to her? Anybody knows? Not the brothers. Anybody knows? Y'all don't know. Yeah, she died. She had a problem with her husband and left her husband and ran to her father's house. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's like, is she the one with the horse?
She got raped by some vile homosexual men of Benjamin, and her husband, when he saw her, she was already dead. That's why when you read the scripture, it says the men abused her all night until the morning came, and they laid her back at his front door. And he opened the door and saw her there, and he called unto her, and there was no response. That means she was dead. Christians read it and say he killed her. That's not what happened. They raped her until she died. And he cut her up into 12 pieces and sent her body to each tribe in Israel to say, we have a problem here in the tribe of Benjamin. I need some help. Just like today, if news happened, they put it on Twitter and Facebook. He sent it out calling for judgment. You're going to have that spirit to correct her wrong. But if she never left and went nowhere, she stayed and worked the shit out, that shit would have never happened. That's right. You know what I mean? Running from a problem is a serious act of cowardice for both men and women. It's just cowardice shit. Just, you might need some time to figure out how to handle the problem. Take the time. Don't take forever. Don't fool yourself and be like, well, I'm figuring out how to do it. You take some time, a decent amount of time that's allotted to you. If you don't know how to do it, call and get counsel on how to handle the problem. Sometimes even that call is a burden because you're just not strong enough to say, Salakia, I have a problem, how to solve it, and have somebody tell you how to solve this problem. That's something we had to overcome as a people, but that's the culture of the heathens. The heathens don't like that. We, on the other hand, should love it. So Corinthians is saying, if she depart from her husband, let her, read it again.
Let her remain unmarried.
Let her remain unmarried. Where you at? 7 and what?
7 and 11. In the middle of 11, sir.
Hold on.
Continue.
Start at, hold on, I think you skipped something. Start at 10.
Come on. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband.
Right, that's a commandment from the Lord. Let her not depart. Be it her own will, or be it you being simple and, putting her away. Let her not depart. That's the first responsibility. There's no separation. Second responsibility, go ahead.
Come. But and if she depart, let her remain unmarried.
But if she does depart, she has to remain unmarried. That's the onus on her and the new nigga who coming. She had to be strong enough to resist that new attention. That new attention is like crack cocaine to everybody. That new attention, that's like the new car smell. You go and get a new car and it smells so good, you don't want to go back in your old car. You get the point? It's an addiction. She had to resist that thing. And that new brother had to respect the fact that, hey, this woman is separated from her man. I'm not going near her. I'm giving him time to resolve that situation. Why? Who knows why? Ariella? Why?
Confusion.
Nope. Sitting back next to Sharapa. Why? Why does that brother give that sister and that brother time? Why should he not go try to marry the sister knowing that she's separated from her man? Like now they're going through something. She said, I'm single. That's what she's saying. Why should she remain unmarried? Why should she not do it? And why should that brother not go and entice her and try to seduce her and court her?
Because she would probably go back to her husband anyway.
That's true. That's not the one I'm looking for, but I'll take that.
That's your brother breaking the law.
That's your, okay. Yes, you're breaking the law, but I want to drive it home for you to feel it. That's your brother. And it could easily be you having problems with the girl and he's the second man. How many brothers you had a problem with your rib before? You're scared to put your hands up? I put them hands out higher. I put 2 hands up, 3, 4, and 5. You may have a problem with the girl. And okay, this is another reason why brothers don't want to stand and fight in their marriage. You may have a problem with the girl, right? And you don't want to correct her for whatever is going on. In the world, brothers don't want to do it because they're scared of what? They're scared what will happen.
Other finding another man, or
they're scared she's gonna leave you because you're too harsh. You're too strict. Your rules are too this, too that, and she's gonna leave you and she's gonna find another man. And as a man, you don't want none of that shit happening. You don't want to be walking down the road and hey, and that's I see your ex-wife with so and so. You don't want that staying on you as a man, so you don't do it. But what if you knew there was a code amongst black people, like no snitching? Like no snitching is a code. You don't want to talk to the police in a traffic accident. Hey, you see what happened? Nah, that's going on. It's a traffic accident. There ain't nobody gonna kill you for a traffic accident. But no snitching is a code. Imagine there was a code where no man would touch a woman another man done been with, ever.
Right.
Now you have a certain amount of confidence to deal with the problem, and you give that thing time to breathe so the brother could, come right back. And now she's humbled because why? What's a driving force for women in the world who go through something with a man? What's the driving force behind her standing on whatever issue is going on? She's going to stand on it. she has options.
Right. Okay.
You know what them options is? Them 1,000 of likes under her Facebook post. You telling her that dress too tight. Nigga, I got 500 people that say different. You want me or what? What's up? You could have me with the dress, or you could have me with one of these over here. Which one? You know what, baby? Go ahead, man. You all right. You all right. And secretly, he go get another bro because he can't deal with your bullshit. If the Lord don't want the dumb shit, so he's giving brothers instructions on how to handle certain things. Right? So for the sister's question, multiple wives is absolutely lawful. It's absolutely lawful. What he does not want is a brother being Christian and now putting away one woman for another. He doesn't want that situation. Like in marriage, only in the UPK you understand what marriage really is. Every brother in here, you have a woman, you have to get permission to go have that woman. Every brother knows it. You call somebody and you got permission from some woman. You may have come in the truth with a rib already, right? That's your rib already. But every brother who got a rib in here, there was permission from a father figure to get that girl. Once that father figure is involved, Doc, brother, I don't care if she transforms into Goliath at night. You negotiated with that man for that girl. You can't leave her. The father will come see you. He gonna come and you took my daughter. You had sex with her. You get the point? You paid a dowry for her. What's this thing, divorce thing you're talking about? It can't happen. But the world done stripped away all those parameters. You get the point? No, there's the other factor of it. You in the world, you grew up Christian, you know, your whole life. First 25, 30 years of your life, you found the truth. Right? Now everybody's like you, Rob, on to find it at 15. Get Rob on a hand. You know what I mean? Rob, I found the truth as a very young man. Same age as the manager, 15, 16 or something like that. Been around for a while. You found it relatively young. There's other brothers and sisters who born into the truth. Captain Arya, General Mahaiman's son, he was born into the truth. Right? General Mahaiman's other son, Mayam, he was born into the truth. He came into the truth. Never lived a day as a Christian. For the rest of us who've been in slavery and come through our parents' loins in the world, you're going to pick up different things from in the world, different lifestyles, different customs. And you could come into the truth with a husband or wife that's in the world. And that marriage is still honored because it's still a marriage. That person may depart as you in the truth. That marriage was not in the truth, but it came in. Somebody stayed, somebody departed, right? Well, it's right under here. Keep reading. Find it for me, huh? Verse 12. Keep reading.
Verse 12. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
Right? Now, I speak this to the brethren. Let any man who have a wife that believeth not, let him not put her away. You can't get rid of your woman just because she go into the church every Sunday. Right? Now, at this time, of course, this is the nation of Israel. This is not the context of we in slavery scattered in religions. So it's the same thing for a woman. If she has a husband that don't believe, she can't depart from him. She has to stay in the truth and hope and pray that brother come in. Right? Keep going. 13.
Verse 15. And the woman which have a husband that believeth not, if he is pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him.
Right? Let her not leave him. Go ahead.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Go ahead.
Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy?
Right, that's the same spirit of what I was breaking down before, where you could have a loved one, brother, that is not in here with you, but you going hard for the Lord, so the Lord looks at them with more favor than somebody else in the world who's doing the same thing. He gives them more favor. Keep reading. 15, come on.
But if the unbelieving depart,
right? But if the unbelieving, if that brother or sister who decides to remain in the world while the brother or sister is in the truth, if that unbelieving one leaves, departs, go ahead.
let him depart.
Say it again.
Let him depart.
Go ahead.
A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases.
Let them depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases. In those cases, you come in the truth. You struggling hard with some hard head in the world. They don't want to come in. They don't want to come through. But in both cases, they benefit from you being in the truth. You a sister, you cooking, you cleaning, you doing everything, you humble on the brother. You a brother, she has a man that's going to kill for her Christian worldly behind. She has a man that's going to make sure if he takes another woman, there's a whole protocol in here. If you all don't know, some of the younger brothers and sisters may not know. There's a whole protocol in here to take a woman or for a sister to have a husband. You're going to go through that 6 months of courting. Round about after the 6 months, somebody gonna request to marry somebody. Whoever is the camp leader or the person who's the father figure over them is going to let them know, you'll go get tested. Because now we're going to establish, make sure everybody's straight and clean, because that's a whole other problem. You'll go get a STD or STI test. Both people bring the test back good, clean. The brother then negotiates with the camp leader, or in some cases, her father. In some schools, brothers come in with their whole family, and the daughters are of marriageable age. The father is also considered in the dowry. And they're going to negotiate a dowry for this girl. Why do you negotiate a dowry for this girl? Who knows? Why do you negotiate a dowry? People hear our customs and say, you're going to sell her? You're going to sell her like a whore? I'm going to sell her. I'm going to sell her, and there's a righteous reason why.
It's like, so if I could.
Oh, 1 second.
Cool.
Say that one more time. That's not the dowry part. The dowry is a little bit different, a little bit more involved. Let me get Rob on food. Rob on.
So the dowry is because you're sacrificing something for this woman. So you're not so easy to like put her away in,
On it, brother. You on it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because some sisters are worth more than others.
No, that's not the reason you negotiate the dowry. Because the sister worth more than others only matters to who? Exactly. So then he does what? Before he gets to the father with the dowry, what does he do? He chooses which one is worth more to him. Just like you go to buy a car, right? When you go to buy a car, do you go to somebody with one car on the lot? You do what? You Weeks Volvo. We Israelites, so we start with Mercedes, knowing we ain't got Mercedes money. German.com. Oh boy. Yeah. But then after, finances kicking and humble your dumb ass, and you had to go and get a Fiat or some dumb shit. And you go to whichever location and you test drive the Nissan, the Toyota, whatever else, and you choose which one is worthy to you. And then you go inside and you negotiate with the salesman a price for that car. Now, that price you negotiate, you're going to pay it. The reason is what Rob Barnes said, unless anybody else wanted to try it. The reason for the dowry.
The reason is because it's worth something.
It's worth something. How do you treat something you get for free versus something you had to pay for? Anybody have kids in here? Anybody buys, this is your choice now. I am trying to put you on the spot. I'm just using it for teaching example. Anybody buys above average costing things for their children, right? Buy the little Louis Vuitton, mosquito. Don't nobody wear mosquito no more, right? You don't even know what the hell that is, right? You know what mosquito is, right? You don't have no mosquito, no Louis Vuitton. What's the YSL one? Some Saint Laurent. See, you buy that for your little child who gonna outgrow the shit in 2 months. That's your right. It's your prerogative.
Correct.
How does that child treat the damn shoe or the bag or the shirt? They don't give a damn. Why? Why they don't give a damn? Who knows why? They ain't do shit for that.
Right.
Don't think they're not of age. You know why? Because when they want the chocolate, you get them to do what for the chocolate?
Anything you want.
Anything you want. Sit there, shut your mouth. Or you're not going to get, stop crying, you're going to get it. Okay, you like the chocolate? Yes, daddy. Thank you. Say thank you. Say thank you. Thank you. And next time they want chocolate, what do? Behave. They work for it. So they appreciate that chocolate. But if they could just take chocolate anytime, you think that chocolate mean anything to them? If you take it away, what they going to do? Just continue being a badass. That woman you got for free, you didn't have to work for. The reason you leave her so easily is because you didn't pay for her. You're supposed to look at her and be like, I just paid so and so and so for your fucking ass. Excuse my language. Sit here. Come sit here. No, we got to work this thing out.
Right.
You gave up something of value for her, which means she's valuable. She's valuable. You can't leave her. You paid money for her. You can't leave her. She's of value. She's of value to you. And if you want to go get another one, guess what you got to go do? Go get a car and do Uber. Go deliver and make more money so you could buy the other one. You go get a paper route. Go, I don't care what you do. Get Amazon drop shipping. Do something so you can afford her. Because you ain't getting no woman up free up in here. I don't care what you say. Parasha got gauntlets to buy and the chain mail and shit. You're going to pay Parasha up in here for these single ladies. You're going to pay him fat envelopes for these girls. You get the point? And because you pay, brother, you're not going to want to part so easily with it. You get the point? You get a car for free and it got tickets on it and they come to tow the car. Are you going to run as hard as if you paid for that car and still making payments on it? Nah, the car you're paying on, it matters to you. That free thing don't matter. So you go get that situation. It's a whole thing you're going to affect by a divorce. But now somebody in the world, they leave, you're not under bondage in that situation. In here, there's a whole protocol for that. A brother or a sister. That sister, the counsel might be to the brother, give her time, she gone in the world, she'll be back. Usually that's what happens. Usually the sister will come back after a year crying, and then it would be a task to prove she didn't go out there and be a whore by having sex with somebody else. For a sister, that sister still remains unmarried. She might come in here, her husband leave. She remains unmarried. She remains unmarried. Anybody knows how long? That's how righteous and honorable Commander GEN.YAHANNA is for brother in the world. A whole year. First, brothers, oh yeah, man, she ain't got no man no more. So Salaki, I want to put in a request. How long that brother leave? Yesterday. Brother, call me back in 6 months. Yeah. Some brothers gonna forget. Some brothers gonna forget. The sisters in here bad, and it ain't just one brother asking for her. It's about 10 of them. And about 7 of them gonna forget the call in 6 months. Then you go have some real diligent soldiers. 3 of them gonna call back in 6 months. Guess what the general gonna say? Anybody know? Oh. Yeah. Hey, I'm busy right now. Call me back in 6 months about this girl. Yeah. And you're gonna be like, man, fuck her. Because there's more. And you might be simple, you go out in the world. But then there's a brother who's gonna be like, alarm gonna go off. Ring, ring, 6 months. Hey, Salaki, so I called about that girl 6 months ago and 6 months before that. It's been a year. Oh shit, I thought you forgot that. Nah, I ain't forget, sir. Salakia. Okay. Where's the camp leader? Get him on the phone. And then they go to work. A whole investigation goes into it. And to find out if the brother really been missing for a year. And if it found out that he's missing for a year, guess what else happens after that? You're going to get an order from the general to call the brother. And ask him. Because nobody's taking her word for it. You're going to have to ask him. You're going to have to be a man, and go up in there. You want her so bad, Gotta go talk to that brother. Some brothers don't want to do it. You're going to have to go talk to him and ask him. See how he feels. He might say, listen, man, I've been trying to get back with her, but so and so and so and so. Listen, brother, if you want her, brother, you can have her. I'm good. That's brotherhood. That's brotherhood. Another thing, the brother might say, man, I done left her. I don't want her no more. She ain't my speech. She ain't my type. She getting this Israelite bullshit. I don't want her no more. You sure, brother? Listen, man, if you want her, listen, ain't no pride here. I'll let you have her. He said, nah, shalom. It's done. You went above and beyond. You waited a whole year. You did this. You reached out to the brother. You let him know. And still, when you go back, the general would say, wait about a month again. That brother might recall. And you wait. And when it's time to come to the table, now that's a year and a month or two. That's what, 14 months? You should have stacked that dowry in that time if you were smart. If you treat it like you're going to buy a house or a car, you know, it's a ton of run around. You stack that money up. Give me XXXXX. Done. You want it in cash? You cash up, so you have cash up? You ready?
Right.
You ready to make the move? You understand, Robin? You
Correct.
understand where you go? You get the point? And you make that whole move and you handle that situation. So in here, there's a whole system for it. Now, just in general, the Lord hates divorce. So you get a marriage in here, you better be ready to go to the very end. You better be ready to one of you burying the other one. Somebody gonna die first. That's how serious it is in here. You can't divorce in here. You're gonna be treated like a sinner. You have a marriage in here that's settled. That's that. You get the point. So I hope that answers the sister's question. Good to go. Any more questions? If not, I think we right up on the time.
If I may, off the same a question.
Karathi, I'm gonna come to you, all right?
So we got young man DeMarcus. He says, Sir Lakia, what do we do if she does lay with another man? Are we still to hold to a marriage and work on any issues, or can we then put her away?
Okay, if you're in the school, young man DeMarcus, definitely get some more counsel from your camp leader on it, right? However, if she departs from you and goes and lays with another man, that girl is a whore, brother, and you should drop her. I don't care if you have 10 kids with her. Leave her and them damn kids, because when she was whoring, she did not consider them kids. She didn't think, I can't get with you, nigga. I have 10 kids with this dude. She didn't consider that. Just like the dude with the Babylonian garment didn't consider his sheep, didn't consider his woman. He coveted whatever. Let her go deal with them kids and that. You could go make more. Just leave her, let her go, let that whole go. Get some counsel though. Because why? You might imagine she's with another man when she may not have been. I've seen it happen already. Where sister, she doesn't get simple, go out into the world. She did not marry though. She came back with the brother. I done seen this shit happen already. You want to get full out counsel for it because in your anger, you want to put her away because she done put you through something traumatic. You know what I mean? You just want to get rid of her. And that could happen. But if there's, you already know she done whored with somebody, man, that's that brother's problem now. That's his problem now. He wanted to have sex with her. Guess what else he had to do? Feed them damn 10 kids. That's his problem now. You get the point? That ain't yours no more. You free. The scriptures say you not under bondage in such situations. Them kids is his problem now, not yours. That's his problem. You understand? All right, Karathi.
Question was John 6:38. That's what the breakdown when Christ came down from heaven. Let's
go ahead.
He says, for I am come down from heaven, not to do my own will, but to do the will of him that sent me. What do you mean by come down from heaven?
Where did I come from? Captain Mashak, who is in the UK today. Give me a hand for that. That's an amazing achievement. I was here during COVID for the Mason. That's all. Where did I come from? Think UPK. Not me coming from a mother or father. Captain Mashak of the I.S.U.P.K. Where did I come from?
From the Lord.
Yeah, but to explain it to somebody so they understand something else.
I came from One West.
You on it?
So like, I could.
Rabban, come on.
So is it that the Most High gave you the Spirit?
Just so you understand, I'm using a different example. Don't say I came from the Lord, even though this comes from the Lord.
Commander Yohanna.
Yes, but there's a way we say, even Commandant General Yohanna comes from the same place I come from. Headquarters. I come from headquarters. Commandant General Yohanna comes from headquarters. A band who goes to Canada. When he goes to Canada, headquarters goes to Canada. You get the point? Yatazak, who went to Acuña in Mexico, headquarters went to Mexico. You get the point? That's where his orders came from. So when Christ says, read it again.
John 6:38. For I am come down from heaven, not to do mine own will.
I came down from headquarters not to do my own will. Go ahead.
Oh, God. But the will of him that sent me.
Simple.
Oh, God.
I came here on orders from him that sent me. That's it. Why are you going on the corner?
Because of the headquarters.
You get orders. Parasha, your officer now. I get 2 brothers go on that street and teach. Did you have a choice? You ain't had no choice, Ak. That order came from a place you hadn't even been to at that point.
Okay.
That's how crazy this life is. You hadn't even been to headquarters ever, but you out there doing headquarters orders. You have to be militant or in a militant organization to understand this. A Christian wouldn't understand this. A Christian would think, oh, he descended from the sky. No, he was sent. He was given an order and he did it. You get the point? That's what it is. It's like his orders came from the Lord. Not to do his will, but to do the will of him that sent me. That's really what it is. Not he float down from the sky. You get the point? We good to go? No more questions. With that, pass the class. Pass the class over to Priest and Officer Ariel.
Security announcements. The I.S.U.P.K case started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York.
Turn the camera on him.
Rule for a new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 12, Malachi 3 and 8 to 10. Means 1/10 in the Hebrew, Mayashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives. Salakia, the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, 25th of September, Feast of Trumpets. Reminder to Okyom and Okwathiyom, check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anybody wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. And with that, men of Israel, I Madiam.
Let's do the Lord's Prayer, right? Everybody stand. I Madiam. Which way is east? Which way is east?
Abanoah.
Abanoah.
Shabbat Shamaya.
Shabbat Shamaya.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Haya.
Haya.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwathka.
Malakwathka.
Taba'a.
Taba'a.
Tazaka.
Ratazaka.
Haya.
Haya. Aisha.
Baharatazah.
Baharatazah.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Haya.
Haya.
Bashamayam.
Bashamayam.
Nathan.
Nathan.
Lanoah. Laham.
Laham.
Kalyoam.
Kalyoam.
Washalak. Lanoah.
Washalak.
Show. Kawawath Noah.
Kawawath Noah.
Kasalak Noah.
Kasalak Noah.
Kawawath Yanoah.
Kawawath Yanoah.
Walaha.
Walaha.
Tabia Noah.
Sabaya Noah.
Banasayawan.
Banasayawan.
Abal.
Hawashai Noah.
Mayam.
Say one more time.
Mayan Rai.
Mayam.
Right.
Mayam. Mayam.
Mayam.
Rai.
Right.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Hamalakwa.
Waha Allah.
Waha Allah.
Waha Thap Ara.
That's right. Waha Thapara.
La'ai wal yam.
La'ai wal lam yam.
Aman.
Aman. Give him a hand. It's right here.
Come on.
So what? In the English. Our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In
In
earth.
earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not
into temptation.
into temptation.
But deliver us.
But deliver us
From evil.
from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Sir, which means turn. One courtesy salute to the captain,
To the teacher.
to the teacher. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.I.U.M. I.M.A.D.I.U.M. Shabbat.
That's right.
I.M.A.D.I.U.M. Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Brakathum.
Sa, which means turn.
Yachim Matah.
Yad Yamata.
Star.
Sa, which means turn. Gonna give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.I.U.M. I.M.A.D.I.U.M. Shabbat. I.M.A.D.I.U.M. Barak. Yad Yamata. With that, class dismissed.
Good job. Good job. Russian, use your restroom.